family. This is Brothers in America. This is Brother Leo, Brother Conjus with my co-host, Holy Water with a side of green tea. What's happening, family? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Our our topic of discussion today is should a man be punished for openly knowing that a man or that a woman has a husband or a boyfriend and still try to sleep with her, court her,
Yeah,
date her, get in
that
her drawers?
that's what you put in the title. You put knowingly.
No, no, no. That's what I'm saying now in the live, brother. That's what I'm saying
Even
now in
if
the
you
live.
don't, even if you don't know, he should have found out.
So yes, brother.
So, puni-
Yes,
so
yes.
punishment is inevitable.
Yes, because
Nah.
I have to give grace, brother. I gotta give grace. I definitely gotta give
Yeah.
grace.
No.
I
You
have to
know
give
what?
grace.
A, a king is not going to give grace. Not for that. You know, I'm telling the
Mm.
truth. Men are not king. You know, black men are not king like anymore. I noticed that. They'll
We
let a man. They'll let a man do this and do that, and then they'll blame the woman. If you're back in the day, if you was a king and somebody came into the territory and dealt with your woman, oh, that man would have got beheaded.
mm,
We ain't got no
mm,
king. We ain't got no kings amongst us no more. It seems like
mm-hmm.
men are just talking about some. Oh, it's her responsibility. It's this and it's that. Man, if you deal with another man's wife, and back in ancient times, and it was real kings and stuff like that, man, they would not tolerate it.
But speaking of back in the
The
days, we live.
ultimate, the ultimate, the ultimate disrespect is to deal with another man's wife.
Hmm. But we speaking on back in the days. This is modern day society, new rules, new fickle rules, and so forth that we must abide by.
No, it ain't.
You right? You right?
No,
But go
no,
ahead.
no,
Yeah.
no. We ain't gotta abide by these European standards. These are
No.
European standards that we abiding by, and that's just the
Hmm.
truth. You know, you know, the way that life is set up right now.
Hmm.
Just because we live in America, doesn't mean we have to be of America. You understand?
Yes.
And that's just what it is. So
Hmm. Yeah. Nah. This my spill on the situation. I feel like you got to hold both parties to the certain standard. Like they both got to be held accountable. You know what I'm saying? It ain't just the man, it's the woman as well. You know what I'm saying? Because again, that man didn't openly rape her and took the cookies, you know what I'm saying? She openly gave it away, you
hey, don't
know?
use that. Don't use the R word. You got to say grape. You
Yes,
can't use
great.
that R word. It'll
Yes.
f that algorithm up. Go ahead.
Yes, yes, but the man didn't openly grape her. You know what I'm saying? She gave it up willingly, openly and willingly, you know? Because I feel like today's society, we promote these type of rappers, we promote these type of celebrities when they paint this rhetoric of it's okay to go there and sleep with another man's wife or woman. You know what I'm saying? Knowingly, you know, and I do feel like we have to hold them accountable. We definitely got to hold them accountable and what's not because that's widely spreaded, and also the internet is forever spreading the same backward wayward terms for us to follow. But yeah, go ahead, brother. Go ahead. Tell me why you feel like men should be held accountable and punished for openly
Well, I'm
knowingly.
talking about I'm talking about from the mentality of a king.
Yes, a king's
Like
mentality.
from the mentality of a king. How many kings do you know is going to let another man sleep with his wife and not do anything about it?
Mm,
None. There's none.
mm,
You know, men allow so much stuff today. They tolerate so many different just because they tolerate so much, and
mm,
that's why the community is the way it is.
mm.
The community is the way it is because men tolerate so much more than they used to. Like, um, it's just like it's ridiculous, man. Every man should go get a paternity test nowadays.
Right,
that's for
right.
that's for that's for sure because now to me that's the real death sentence right there. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? In my opinion, if I was a king, if I dealt with a woman and the child wasn't mine, you know, and then I find out who the father was and if he knew, like, even
Let's
if
have
no,
that
no, of course
conversation. Let's have that
if I'm
conversation, brother.
if I'm the king, of course he knew. If I'm the king,
Yes.
Like
Peace, family.
if
Peace,
if
family. Peace
if
chat.
I'm the king, then what I need to do is make sure that nobody else does that. You have to behead those type of people. That's utter disrespect. If a man deals with another man's wife, that's utter disrespect.
Mm-hmm.
Utter disrespect. And if I'm a king, if I'm a person that's, you know, that has a territory, oh,
Mm-hmm.
you got to diminish. You got to make sure that person is diminished.
Yes. I feel like that's a little bit extreme, but I definitely understand because I
As
see
a
like
king, brother, not in
yes.
this day and age. As a king, men are not operating in a kingship anymore. Their mentality is off. Men are letting another man sleep with his wife and then stay with the woman.
Mm,
Men are weak
mm,
today, bro. Extremely weak today, man. You know what I'm
yes.
saying? Like, not all men, but a lot of men. I'm not finna stay
Mm-hmm.
with a woman that slept with another man.
Mm,
I don't know what kind of
yes.
world we living in today.
Because I see now, brother. I see right now in terms of paternity, right? And paternity, I seen a lot of peace Hector, peace Vietnam. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Our topic of discussion today, in case you missed it, should a man be punished for sleeping with another man's wife? Should a man be held accountable and punished for sleeping with somebody else's wife or woman?
Yeah.
Yes, I want to talk too in terms of pregnancy. Like a lot of women dealing with three, four, five, and that's a thing, and that's a thing too. I want to sit here. I want to highlight as well that a woman want to highlight. She want to do things like a man, and it's double standard, not because of me, because of the world, but also like that part too. Like she's dealing with two, three, multiple men, right? And she's not sure who the father is. But of course, she's gonna put it towards the guy she's with, because the guy she's with is her ideal man. The guy who she might be cheating or sleeping with might be a good time, a fun time, or whatever else the case may be. But let's highlight that part, right? That she gave birth. Not say she gave birth. She conceived, and now she's pregnant with a child, and she don't know who the father is. Let's highlight that, brother. I definitely want to highlight that as well.
But
Uh,
that's on men too,
yes,
because it's men's seed. Whose seed is it?
yes.
We like a lot of times we focus on the woman opening her legs up, but whose seed is going inside of the woman? It's a
Mm,
man's seed.
yes,
So a man has to be the gatekeeper of his seed.
yes.
Like, yeah, she's supposed to be the gatekeeper of her womb, but if a man is spreading seed and all type of women that he's coming across, and he's getting
Mm-hmm.
women pregnant, and and he don't know if she's with somebody or not. It's at this point, man. You know what? Men are I hate it. Men are terrible in today's world with these DMs, bro.
Yes.
Men are the
Yes.
women tell me that they be having hundreds of messages, bro. And I'm
Yes.
thinking I'm sending them one message or two, and then but
Mhm.
I'm not realizing it's another 200-300 guys sending
Mhm.
them messages.
Yes.
So who's the real problem here?
Mm.
Who's the
Mm.
real problem? It's the men.
Mm.
And these are average, everyday men. These are
Mhm.
not just Pookie and Ray Ray sending messages. These are
Mhm.
average because I've sent messages. So I'm like, these are average. This is everyday average men sending 200-300. If a woman got 200 messages in her inbox and they're all men, then by math, man is
Mhm.
the problem. By
It's
math.
it are we though? But I feel like we're just being instinctively, like we're just being ourselves. That's what we do.
That's not who we
I see.
are.
I see. Not
That
just
is
and not.
that is that is what this modern society has taught us to do. Chase women. Over sexualize the media, over sexualize the movies, over sexualize behaviors in school. And we have been taught as men to chase after women instead of actually building something and then attracting women.
Mhm.
We've been taught to chase and DM and and it's so that I believe it's going to be an evolution though in the next
Mhm.
10-20 years where men are not going to be DMing women as much.
Mhm.
It's going to be an evolution, you know what I'm saying? Because they're going to realize like
Mhm.
this ain't the way.
Yeah.
We're giving women the power.
Yes.
We're giving women the power. We're giving women the power to dominate over us in relationships because we keep DMing them.
Mm.
We're
I
doing
don't
this, man.
I don't see no fault in that though, brother. I don't see no fault.
I
I know what
do.
you're saying.
I,
Chasing
I
is a
do.
different is a different between chasing and pursuing after something of interest. You understand? That's where
Hey, brother.
with the communication, chasing and pursuing something of interest.
Men are thirsty, brother. Men are
Yes,
thirsty in
a
today's
lot of
world.
men are, but then you saying chasing. I call it pursuing. It's nothing more than pursuing because they said an old
Yeah.
saying says, "Closed mouth don't get fed, brother." If I like this and I see
But
this and I perceive this to be mine, I'm going to pursue
I'm,
after
t-
this.
I'm telling men right now, we got to come to a point where we stop DMing these women and we approach them. It's so messed up now
Hmm.
that men are so messed up in the head now that they completely they've taken everything away. It's the men, bro. Think about it. Men have messed up relationships because they constantly going after the women online. It's not women just, oh, come see me, come do me. No, it's the
Hmm.
men all up in their DMs and all up in the comments. Go to the comments of some of these Instagram models, and
Hmm.
you're gonna see a flood of men going after them.
But
That
I
is
want to,
that is the
but I wanted to ask
problem.
you. We got to hold women accountable too because you said a flood of men going after
Yeah,
them. They're putting out the material to gain to garner these type of attention. They're putting out these materials to get the attention. You know what I'm saying? I put on social media lingerie, of course. The thirsty brothers, them gonna be out there. What's happening? I see you got some merchandise for sale, and I'm trying to purchase it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. But
Cause
what
and
is that?
effect. Cause and
But
effect,
what does
brother.
that say about the? But what does that say about the character of that man?
Yes, in today's society, you don't speak. It's just the norm. It's the norm right now. It's the norm.
Yeah,
You put on something nice or whatever, showing some booty bitches, some booty shorts or whatever. You're garnering those type of attention, and the brother's gonna be on it because that's what we do. We pursue after stuff of interest. That's what we doing. You feel me? That's what we doing. I understand. I understand. I
no,
understand.
no, I get it. No, because I'm
Mm.
I'm with you. I agree with you. At the same time,
And I want to. I
how
want to
can we
add. And I
how
want to
can we
add.
blame those how can we blame those women for being pursued?
I want to go ahead. I want to say this too, right? I want to say this. I gotta put a standard towards a woman, right? Because my woman is she reflects me in all time, all whether it's in public or in private. She reflects me. She's a reflection of me. And also in terms of these women right now, these married women and these women in these relationships, they seeking these attention because again, a man going to be a man. Where she's taking you're a wife. You're taking half naked pictures. You're taking half naked videos. You're showing booty pictures and so forth in your lingerie, in your bikinis, in your whatever. You're putting all these material. You're a woman. You're supposed to be a woman that's married or whatever. But here it is. You're doing it. You're posting these pictures and you're using the term that I'm free. I can do as I please, right? But at the same time, you're not respecting your husband. You're not respecting your vow, your virtue, your wifely duties. Because you're in the world right now putting those type of material, and with you being in the world right now putting those type of materials, you're gonna get what you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? And that's gonna be men in their DMs and so forth, because they're looking for attention, brother. That's the purpose of it. They're looking for attention. But go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, they may be looking for attention, but they gonna continue to seek the attention if the men is giving it to
So the man, yes,
them.
so you're faulting men for doing that and not the woman for putting those type of material.
I'm faulting both parties,
There we go. There we go.
but I'm mainly faulting the men
Hmm.
because the
Yes.
numbers don't the numbers, the math is not lying here.
Hmm.
If a woman is getting pursued by 100 different men
Hmm.
in her DMs,
Hmm.
what does that say about today's society of men?
Hmm. But that also speaks on today's society of women for putting. Listen to me. Listen, I understand you. Both parties got to be held accountable, brother. I understand that as well. But at the end of the day, if obviously there are some women out there that's responding to these, otherwise men would get tired. They would get tired and stop trying. We are resilient, but at the end of the day, we're resilient with certain stipulations. Just like how you said men shouldn't be this thirsty and pursuing. I feel like a woman should be held accountable. Like whereas don't do that. Like, and if he there, block him. You feel me? You want to go in your whole DM. You want to go all down your DMs, like, oh, this one, whatever. It's like having that option, having that availability. You don't want it, like in terms of a woman, a woman is entitled because again, a man will only try where he see an opportunity, or when he don't see an opportunity, gonna shoot a shot. But it's up to her to shut him down. You know what I'm saying? To shut him down. Like he tried, I shut it down. Babe, look at this. Baby, you showing all your body, you showing all your merchandise, your goods. You know what I'm saying? You expect this. Why are you doing this? You know what I'm saying? And also for the men, it's like, yeah, we got to hold our woman to a certain standard, or hold ourselves to a certain standard, and not pursuing this and this I'll call it stupidity. You know?
I'll say it like this. Social media has messed up a lot of relationships. And who is promoting social media? Who has created social media? Men. Who create these dating apps? A lot of times it's men. Who created the realm for promiscuity? Men. Men created a whole realm for promiscuity. You know what I'm saying? They created this, you know, it starts with, you know, it definitely starts in the community. And it's men who mold that, you know, it's men who mold that into the community. It's men, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I say a man should definitely, in my opinion, a man should definitely be punished for dealing with another man's wife. If you're dealing with a king. Because I'm gonna be real. If I do a man's daughter wrong, what is he gonna want to do to me? You know what I'm saying? If I go around, right, and I say, oh yeah, I did this with your daughter, you know, and I'm talking to a man and I'm talking about his daughter, and he's gonna want to retaliate because I'm trying to humiliate him. How much more if that's my daughter, somebody I've never, you know what I'm saying, somebody I don't look at that way, how much more than my wife, the woman that I made the child with? See, we don't have that king mentality no more. We think we just supposed to let it slide and it's all on her. When really that's the most disrespectful thing you can do is literally go to a man, you know, let's I use your point, knowingly go to a man's wife and deal with her. It says you don't it means you don't value my life at all as a man. You don't think anything of me. You disregard my existence. You know, and this is why it's so many, like, you know, it's so much deletion going on amongst lives nowadays, because there's got to be a balance. There's got to be a balance. You sleeping with a man's wife, you doing this and doing that. I see why the America is messed up the way it is, and all these men is going through all this crazy stuff because there's no morals, there's no principles, there's no principles from that of a king. You know, it's a modern society. So go ahead.
And also, you know what I'm saying? And also, because I'm doing balance right now, brother. And also, the woman, these women nowadays are too out there clickbaiting these men. You know what I'm saying? There's no more ladylike behavior. You know what I'm saying? You said men kind of push
That's
women
not
towards
true.
being
That's not true. You can't
brother.
say that.
You out here
No
promoting
more
these. I go
ladylike
on.
behavior. My bad. Go ahead.
Ladylike, when I say ladylike behavior, brother, I'm talking about a woman being a wife and not displaying her body for the world, or feel like she's trying to test the waters to see if she still got it. I'm trying to see if I still got it. I just had 2 children, 3 children. My husband don't show me no affection. Let me go ahead and just post this picture of my cleavage. Let me just post this picture of my butt. You know what I'm saying? Ladylike means conduct yourself, carry yourself as integrity in public and in private. You know what I'm saying? You got to give, like, I see, like, nowadays a woman is not giving men a lot of respect. You know what I'm saying? And men just being men, us being savages and whatever else the case might be, our barbaric behavior. You know what I'm saying? Is doing what's common. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want my woman to lead with an elegance and a grace. I want my woman to be like, not to say she cannot talk, but I wanted to, when she enter a room with me, I wanted to be like the center of attention. You know what I'm saying? Not by her being loud or nothing, just by her being an feminine touch. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just be there in her grace, just in her elegance. Like, sit here until, thank you so much. Be ladylike. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have a woman. I'd be like, yo, babe, that picture ain't appropriate. You know what I'm saying? you doing stuff that going to catch that you want to get the wrong attention you want. You know what I'm saying? Baby, you got to conduct yourself X, Y, just like you want men to be held accountable. I want my woman to be held in the same accountable, be accountable as well. You know?
Yeah, I want men and women to be held accountable.
Yes, yes. But yes, I definitely feel like a lot of brothers be openly and knowingly knowing that this woman have a husband, this woman have a man, and you want to go. That's why you see his numbers, the numbers, and I'm just saying the numbers of guys them in prison. You know what I'm saying, doing stupid stuff because of their woman. You know what I'm saying, they go on a deep end because they come home and they woman, they wife, they whatever. Their children, mother, whatever, you know what I'm saying, doing some foul stuff, and now that guy got to react. You know what I'm saying, for the times, the terms and conditions.
Yeah,
However,
but go ahead.
brother, go ahead.
No, I'm listening to you. Go ahead. You said, however.
No. Yeah. However, I don't feel like it's necessary. I don't feel like it's necessary to punish, but then that's also me adding to the problem. That's me adding to the problem because I don't want to reprimand that woman or that man. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like if I do, that just like not saying it's a part of her, but you do it once, you're gonna do it again.
Yeah, they can legally be reprimanded. They can be sued if they're married.
Mm-hmm.
You can reprimand, like, if somebody, you can sue people, like, that's a crime. To deal with a
Mm-hmm.
married woman is a crime.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll sue a man, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially if he got money.
Mm-hmm.
I'll sue him. I'll get that bread. I remember a man one time, it was some stuff online. Men have won cases like that.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to say, even if that did took
You know what I'm
place,
saying?
what would be
So
your next approach towards you suing the man? What's your next move?
get as much money as I can.
What happened afterwards with you and your wife?
Oh, that's a divorce.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah,
So
it's a divorce.
do you think you're helping her or harming her by doing that?
It don't matter what I'm doing. I'm leaving her alone. I'm helping myself.
But you don't
At
feel like
that
you
point,
are. Mm-hmm.
I have to. At that point, it's okay to. I just read something in that book that I showed you. Selfish enterprise.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But you don't feel like
Selfish.
you're throwing her to the
Go ahead.
wolves, where she gonna be on the path of promiscuity?
I don't care. Why would I keep a woman that disrespect me like that?
Mm-hmm. Yes. No,
I'm
I'm
going
not
to.
saying that.
I'm gonna end up destroying myself.
Yeah.
Am I right?
No, I'll agree with you. Listen to me. I'm agree with you, brother, but I'm trying to dissect it. I'm trying to dissect it fully. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna
Yeah. Well,
divorce
I
him.
mean,
You're gonna run the risk to take the guy to court, you know what I'm saying, to sue him for financial gain, you know what I'm saying, mental abuse and all this other stuff, emotional, the whole nine, and then after all of that, you're gonna leave her for a
yeah,
transgression.
absolutely. Why wouldn't I? If
Mm-hmm.
I was a king, I would behead her. If I was an ancient king, I would behead her. Not because she slept with another man, but because she slept with somebody else and then came back to me.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know what I'm
Yes.
saying? If you're gonna leave all the way.
Mm-hmm.
Don't come back to me after you dealt with another man. See, that's where the betrayal comes in.
Mm-hmm.
On some real kingship.
Mm-hmm.
On a kingship, like, and he gets beheaded as well. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the real king. Like, you don't deal with my wife and then send her back to me. That's
Mm-hmm.
utterly disrespectful.
Yes. Yes.
Men who think like that and men who do that deserve to be beheaded
Mm-hmm.
with the old
Mm-hmm.
school guillotine.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Castrated. They
Yes, sir.
deserve to be castrated. I
Why
want
would
them to
I do
live.
that? Well,
No, I want
no,
them to
no, no.
live.
I never said it. I never said anything about a man being castrated. I don't believe in that. I said beheaded up here. A man being castrated, now that's just despicable. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? That I don't ever want to put a punishment on anybody that I wouldn't want to take myself. See, I have a
Understand.
balance. You know
Understand.
what I'm saying? To be castrated, why would I castrate a man for that? You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? That's wickedness.
No,
That's pure.
I
That's utter wickedness.
because you got to live with because I would say because I want to make an example of him. You understand? I
No,
would
but
want
that's
to make
utter
an.
wicked. That's utter
It
wickedness.
is
That's not even.
wickedness, and also
That's not.
you
That, that's not.
sleeping with the next man's wife. That's utter wickedness as well.
Yeah, but I'm not finna castrate no man.
Yeah.
I'm not finna castrate him. I'm finna cut his head off, like up
Yeah.
here, like you.
But I
I
want
mean,
you to be a living testimony so you can walk around and tell the others one like, yo, like what was your problem? Like you walking around with nothing.
that's
You know what I'm saying?
that's
Listen to me.
that's
I
a
hear you. I
no,
hear
that's
you.
disgusting. That's that.
Yes.
See that right there? That right there. That is something that I would never do because I don't. That's something that I couldn't live. I couldn't live with another man knowing that another man is castrated, and then because then it's gonna come off like I'm jealous of his manhood. You
Nah.
know,
That's the burden you live
like
with.
it's going.
Let me tell you
No,
a
it's gonna
story.
come.
Let me tell you a story. All right? Let me tell you a story, brother.
Yeah.
This is a story about me. Maybe in the '90s. In the '90s, I think the '90s, like the mid '90s, there was this guy back home in the islands where I'm from. He got caught cheating. He got caught in another man's house cheating in the same bed. And the husband came home and he grabbed this machete because again we're from the islands. He grabbed this machete and he offed his hand. You know what I'm saying? He offed his hand. He's like, "Yo, you hit me in the hand. You could have, you know what I'm saying? Potentially, but you had me." But he's like, "Why was that your approach?" He said, "I want you to live with that sin. I want you to live with that sin. When you look there and look, you see you got a nut, you got a little nug on your hands. You gonna remember you got that from sleeping with my wife. So I'm gonna use you as an
Yeah. Now what
example.
did
You
he?
gonna want
Yeah. Now what did he do to his wife?
he defiled his wife, of course. Oh, his wife, nothing, nothing. He left her. He left her alone. He
See,
wanted the attention from the man.
I would have did the same. I would have did the same thing to her. If I'm gonna see, that's just. If I'm going to punish the man, I got to punish the woman because she got caught in the act as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not about to. I'm not about to. I'm gonna make it. I'm not gonna torture them. I'm gonna make it quick and simple. Be as a king. I would. Now I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't. I wouldn't do this right now.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you try to humiliate me. But who's to say
Mm-hmm.
I would kill? Who's to say I would delete anybody? You
Mm-hmm.
know. But
No,
yeah, this but yeah, man.
because
See, a
I
man
I
like
hate
that,
this. Was
a man to take another man's hand and let him live with that, he deserved to get cheated on because that's a wicked man, and most likely he slept with another, man's wife.
the results
Most
could have
likely, the
been
same man that took the man's nub, that took the man's hand or
yeah.
whatever, excuse me, took another man's hand. Most likely, he also dealt with another man's wife because he couldn't take it, he couldn't take that kind of, you know, angst.
I
You
feel like
know,
the punishment was going to be even more severe if he took his life rather than his hand. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a
taking
lot more
a
severe, brother.
yeah, but it don't
He's
know.
free.
Nah.
The husband is free. The husband is free right now. To this day, he's free.
He deserves to get in my opinion. In my
Hmm.
opinion, he deserves to get. He deserves. That's a wicked man. I guarantee he done did a lot of wickedness in his life. That's a wicked man. Like he done did a lot of wicked. He done did a lot of wicked. You know a wicked man because a man who will cut another man's hand off and say, "I want you to live with that." He done dealt with another man's wife before, but he didn't take the same initiative to cut his own hand off. I know this. I
Hmm.
know this. Anybody who treats somebody wickedly like that,
Hmm.
that man done did some wickedness in his own life. You
I don't
only can
call it.
do
I
that
don't
much
call it
work.
wickedness, brother. I call it wickedness, brother. The Torah said an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, brother. An eye for an eye
Well,
and a
that's
tooth for a
not.
tooth.
Yeah, but the you talking about the Torah? The Torah would have said stone him to
Hmm.
death,
Hmm.
not cut his hand off and then let
Yeah.
him live.
I
That's
don't feel like he.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
if
understand
you're
it
gonna
though.
leave, if you're gonna leave, if you're gonna leave your wife, like um, yeah, that's why I said I would sue the man. I would in this day and
Mhm.
age, I would sue him, take his
Yes.
money, and then
Yes.
I'll leave my wife. I wouldn't do. But if you humiliate me, then I'm
Hmm.
going to do something to you and my wife. But I'm not cutting nobody. I'm not leaving nobody with uh unhinged limbs. You
Hmm.
know, that's madness. That's wickedness.
Hmm. I hear you. I feel like that's just that's the due process of the law right there. I feel like that's the due process.
Nah.
That's I feel like that's what it is. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you a question. You done dealt with a you I'm pretty sure you probably done dealt with another man's wife, probably unknowingly or knowingly.
Yeah, I have first in the beginning it was unknowingly and then knowingly, but that was again in my teenage years. That was
Well, check
years
this out.
ago.
So let me ask you this question. So if the man would have caught you, would you Would you think it was just for him to take your hand? Your hand specifically.
At that time, probably not. But now, knowingly, I feel like that's a punishable crime. I'll tell
Yeah,
you
but
this
now,
much.
but now you brought this scenario up. So now it makes more sense
Can I
because you
can I
brought the
finish?
scenario
Can I finish? Can I finish
back
the
in.
story? Can I?
You would not. No, you go ahead.
Can I finish the story? It got heated. It got heated where now his husband was putting his hands on his wife, right?
You
And
ain't
he
gotta
put.
get too personal. You ain't gotta get too
I'm
personal.
about
But
to.
go
This
ahead.
is years ago, brother. This is years ago. He
Okay,
put
okay,
his
I got
hands on
you.
his wife. He's putting his hands on his wife, and it got personal where now he gained my information, and then he started threatening me. And when he started threatening me, I was like, listen to me, my life ain't worth a good time for you. You know what I'm saying? I had no other choice but I had no other choice but to cut all ties with this individual. And he was a civil servant. He was a police officer. I had no other choice but to cut all ties with him and his wife and leave it be. You know what I'm saying? Because it got heated. It was fun. It was in the beginning I didn't know. Then after what she told me, and I was like, oh, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And then that happened. I was like, yeah. But then again, this is my younger teenage days
yeah,
when this event happened. You
yeah.
know,
You knew better though. But
I definitely
look, now
did.
check this out.
Definitely did.
Yeah, yeah. But, and I say you knew better because I don't. Well, people say they were younger. Yeah, but it's like even that's that. But this is another thing. This is
Morally wrong. That
you
was
better keep.
morally wrong. I
Oh,
knew that
what?
already.
Wait, but exactly. But imagine if he was the same type of guy like the other guy and cut your hand off.
Nah, he was
That
threatening.
that that you,
He was
that would have been
he was threatening to delete me. He was threatening to punish me
that
severely.
that was but it would have been unjust to cut off one of your limbs, bro.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I
That's
understand.
wickedness, bro. That's
I
unjust
understand.
because that is unjust. It's better to take
Brother,
somebody's life than to take a limb.
back in the days when somebody stole, they was a chop their hand off, brother. They was a chop their hand
Yeah,
off back in the days when
and that's
somebody
wicked,
stole.
and
Mhm.
that's wickedness.
Mhm.
That's
I think they
wickedness,
still,
man.
I think I still happen very, somewhere around the world. They
You
may,
have to
may
be a cruel. You have to be a cruel and wicked man and you have to have. You have to have done a lot of wickedness in your life.
hmm
The more wickedness than you'll judge somebody for, to
hmm
cut a limb off and to
hmm
say, you deserve this. That
hmm
means you have done way more in your life than he
hmm
could ever do.
hmm
If you have that much wickedness in your heart to do that, I'm telling you what I know.
I dig
Because
it.
if you're forgiving to a certain extent, you don't want nobody to be tortured on another level. That means you haven't done a whole lot in your life to
hmm
where you have a wicked mentality. But if you're that meticulous in your wickedness, then
hmm
you are a person who's done way more than that.
It's a strong
Because you don't
potential,
want to
yeah.
because you don't want to be crossed. It's like a king dealing with another man's wife, and then beheading somebody that dealt with his wife.
hmm
You know,
hmm
that's what it is. Like
Oxymoron. An
we was
oxymoron.
talking about David. Remember, the prophet Nathan came to David and he was like, "Who is this man?" So I can go, and have him punished or whatever. And the prophet Nathan said, "It is you, David, who did this to your servant Uriah." You
hmm
know what I'm saying? Like, and then David came to himself like, "Dang!" So he had did this crazy wickedness, and then he was willing to go off and then do something, go punish other people for something he had did 10 times over.
hmm
And
Big
madness, man.
oxymoron. Big oxymoron. Yep.
Hypocrisy is a hell of a
hmm
drug.
hmm
That same man
Yeah.
who cut that, I guarantee, that same man who cut that hand off of that man, he slept with another man's wife before or done dealt with women wickedly. Because only an evil man could think of something like that.
hmm
Would you do that? Would you do that to a man?
Would I do that to a
Would you cut
man?
a man's would you cut a man's hand off if he got caught with your wife?
Me, me personally, I'm not fighting
Be honest.
over. I'm gonna be honest, brother. I'm not fighting over no
Yeah.
woman. If she has the balls and audacity, if she's audacious enough to go ahead and step up with me, brother. When I find her, it ain't gonna be no argument. It ain't gonna be no fighting.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna ask you no questions. That's clearly what you want. I'm not man
Would
enough,
you?
so I'm gonna bow gracefully, brother. And that's that, brother.
Would you? Okay, cool.
That would be my
Yeah,
attempt. Cause like,
but if it was just for you to punish him in any way, if it was just if the whole community said, here he is right here, and you're not gonna get in trouble for this. Here
oh
he
yeah,
is right
yo,
here.
I'm gonna put him on the guillotine, brother, and castrate him. I'm gonna castrate him, brother. You gonna be on the guillotine. I'm gonna castrate him, brother. and
You you know
that's
what?
probably for the wickedness. That's for the wickedness I did. I'm
Exactly,
gonna
brother.
castrate him,
See,
brother.
that lets me know. That lets me know if you really think like that, that is wickedness. I don't think
yeah,
you'll do that though.
I
I don't
castrate that
think you'll do
brother.
that.
Send him right. Listen,
No,
man,
no,
send him right there
I
on the
don't think
guillotine. I send him on the guillotine
I
just like
don't
this, brother. Gotta go.
I don't think you I don't think you'll do that, brother.
I
That's
walk
a
away,
wicked way
brother.
of
I walk away, brother. I walk away. And
yeah, you just walk away. Yeah. Now I would behead the person. I'll cut the head off.
I would do the
I'm not
same
gonna
thing
have a
too.
man
I
walking
would do the
around with
same
him.
thing too, another way, reverse way, brother. you never, never do that again. Every time you think about that, when you go to pay, you know whatever. But me personally, brother, I feel as if this brother, it's a lot of brothers. There's a lot of brothers up top, brother, for doing stupidness, for doing stupidness. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like again, it's the cycle that we have going on right now. You know what I'm saying? Where like a lot of guys. Listen, it's a lot of guys locked up. You know what I'm saying? In regards to their woman, brother. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes financial burden, not saying a financial burden, but I don't have the money. My wife need X, Y, and Z. Let me go ahead and let me hit a lick. She ain't telling you to go there she ain't telling you to go there and commit no crime or nothing like that. You know? But the man, like, yo, I gotta be the man of the house. I'm being ridiculed. I'm not doing my due diligence. Let me go ahead and let me bust a move. You know what I'm saying? For that. And also some men coming home, finding their woman cheating, and that's going off on the deep end. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, peep this. My philosophy is she did that with you and you doing if you're doing your best, or if you're not doing your best, because she could up and leave. You know what I'm saying? If you're doing your best to maintain your household, to keep her afloat, to keep your family afloat, breaking your back, busting your back to do everything, brother, and you come home and your wife is doing that, she's ungrateful, brother. Cut all ties with her other than the children. Cut all ties with her, brother, and go ahead and better yourself. Go ahead and better yourself, because clearly that woman does not value you as a man, doesn't value you as a person. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? You could do some stupid shit, right? And in this real world that we live in, this modern real world that we live in, and when you find yourself in some cuffs going up there, some other dude gonna come here and replace you, because that's probably who she is. That's who she is as a person, and she gonna keep that cycle going. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yeah, some
Yeah.
people can be saved and whatever else the case may be, but at the end of the day, you only can focus on you and yourself. You cannot change the mindset of nobody. You can't change the mindset of nobody. If somebody want to do X, Y, and Z, but that's my wife. I hold accountable. I hold account for it. Then I want to go to her parents like, yo, where y'all failed her at? Like, where y'all failed her at? You know what I'm saying? I didn't know she had that type of behavior going on. Like, you could have given me a little sign indicator. And if they did, then I fail as a man because I didn't follow through. You know?
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, in the modern day times, I'll sue the man if I'm married to the woman. In ancient times as a king, you know, I would have him, beheaded. And I leave that like that. I know David used to he used to cut the force. He used to what to cut the force, what he used to do. He used to cut the foreskin off his enemies or something like that and put them in the bags, but they was already dead. Like I'm not finna. That's wickedness, brother. That's
That's
wickedness. To castrate a man, that's wickedness,
Mhm,
brother. That's
mhm. And we live in a wicked
cutting
world,
them.
brother. We live in a wicked world where people commit these heinous acts. You know what I'm saying? They're repeat offenders. They're repeat offenders. They commit this heinous act over and over again, and then they jump in a rap song and they promote this act. You know what I'm saying? They promote these heinous acts. You know what I'm saying? And tell the masses, hey, tell the populace, hey, it's okay to do this. You can go ahead and sleep with somebody's wife. You go ahead and sleep with somebody's husband. It's cool. It's fine. This is the new norm. This is the fad that we got going on right now. So yes. Yes, like go ahead, like, yeah, it's cool. Guess what? Jody down there can't do that no more. He probably want to, but he can't do that no more. And they be like, "Yo, Jody, what happened? I heard such and such." Well, he did X, Y, and Z. Ooh. Do I wanna risk that? You know what I'm saying? Now we hold people like, yo, you gonna be reprimanded thoroughly, brother. Thoroughly. Watch how that number just dwindle. Watch how that number just trickle down. Because now this is real. Like this is real. This is my manhood we talking about. Figuratively speaking and literally speaking. This is my
Man, I'm
manhood on
thinking,
the line.
I just can't imagine doing that to another man, especially a black man. I can't.
Yeah, I
do it.
understand, brother. But then you got to think about this black man situation. He defiled your wife knowingly. Her doing everything, brother. And if you didn't call her, imagine how much time she did that when she went out and came back home and kissed you in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? He was probably in there doing all of that, and you came home and like nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Imagine how much time he defiled her. And she came there and she like, yeah, baby, everything's good.
Sound like she need to. Sound like she need to get her. Sound like she needs a female castration. That's what it sounds like. Yeah. Would you do that? Is that wickedness? Would you castrate her?
How?
I mean, cut off that clitoris. Would you do that? All it takes for that is some scissors. That shit'll hurt like a motherfucker too. Like, excuse my language. Yeah. Now that sounds crazy, don't it? It sounds wicked. Like, whoa, like, wait a minute.
Oh my God.
Like that sounds real wicked. Like,
It is. But I'll leave that to the female elders. I'll leave that to
no.
elders. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
your wife. That's your wife.
Mm.
And if she allowed another man to stroke it in, to go stroking like he's swimming, then what? Then that she need, you know what I'm saying? Like, if that's the logic we're using, then she deserves the same thing. You do the same thing you said. Hold her up like this, and get the scissors.
But I want to say this, brother. I want to say this, brother.
They kill all that feeling in her lower organs or whatever they call them. Bam, clip, boom. That's what you call a that's what you call a manual period. No. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm saying we're using your logic. I disagree with it. I disagree with
I disagree with that as well because
no, I disagree with castration, man and woman, because she let him in.
Listen to this part though. Her parents, when they asked for her hand in marriage, her parents sent me to protect her and provide for her and so forth. You know what I'm saying? Also told her whatever, but told me to protect her and provide her. I don't feel like that's my duty to castrate based on my logic. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the husband, not the husband, the person that's committing the act, yeah, she's definitely held, and I would definitely leave her without a heartbeat. Within a heartbeat, brother. Definitely leave her in a heartbeat. You know what I'm saying? Since she did that, and if you have children together, definitely it's going to be mandatory DNA test. You know what I'm saying? Because
and this is if you were a king, right?
Me, if I'm a king.
If I was
a king, I was going to stone both of them to death, brother.
Yeah, if you was a king, because you would have to. You would have to destroy them. But you don't want to. But you don't want to come off so cruel to the point where the public feel like they have to stone you.
Yeah, no, I'm not in regards to being a tyrant though. But I mean, like me, first of all, I have a statue.
That's tyrannical, brother.
Yes. But at the end of the day, I have a stature, brother. I have a stature. I'm not a pushover. I'm a king. That means nations is watching me. Nations is judging me based on my career of spies, people infiltrating my kingdom just to see what's my weakness, brother. So I got to stand on business. Stand 10 toes down on business. You know what I'm saying? Not saying as being a tyrant, but being a benevolent king. You understand? Being a benevolent king, a
Okay.
benevolent ruler. Put my people first, whatever. But that right there, that's unforgivable in terms of me being in the kingdom, me and my status being what it is, you know. And she should know better, and he should definitely know better. You know the term mess around and find out. You definitely gonna mess around, and both of y'all gonna find out. If that was the case in terms of if the situation was how you said it of me being the king, then it's a different dialogue we're gonna have. We ain't gonna have that. We ain't gonna have that. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be stone, but it's definitely gonna be castration and then stone afterwards. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be double trouble. That's me setting the precedent that don't mess around. I ain't the one. I ain't the one, brother.
Okay.
I ain't the one. You feel me? You gonna be put to your sentence. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna make you prove a point to you, like, yo, don't I ain't the one for you to mess around, brother. You know what I'm saying? In terms of me being king, but me in this modern day society, brother, I'm gonna leave that woman alone. I'm
And you
gonna
gonna
leave
shoot
that.
a man?
Yes, and sue that man, brother. You
Yeah.
know, I'm like, yo, you was a liability, but for your act that you did, you just became an asset or capital, an investment. You know what I'm saying? You was a liability. I mean, it's like my duty was to provide and protect for you, and you go there trying to ask another man to offer you the services that you're giving both of us when it's only supposed to be for me. So now I'm gonna become beneficial from that point. From that part, I'm gonna become beneficial, brother. I'm gonna sue the shirt off his back, and maybe get back where you got some money that he's financially helping you out with. But that'll
All
be
right.
my approach.
This has been a wild topic. But yeah, you want to close out, brother?
Yes, family. You know the vibes. You know the vibe. This brother Leo, brother Conscious, brothers in America. We get this rolling. We get the ball rolling. It's what we do. We do what we do, and what we can't do, we still gonna do it. You feel me? This is
You
brother
know a
Leo.
clip. You know a clip I'm gonna make. Should men be castrated? Yeah. You know
Hey, you got
I'm
the. Hey,
I'm
one
remixing
second.
that.
One second. If you got the balls to sleep with the next man's wife, you definitely got the balls to be removed. You got the balls to sleep with the next man's wife, them balls gonna be removed. You heard me? Point blank, period. You got the balls to sleep with my wife, you got the balls to be removed.
Hey, I don't know. I don't know.
That's not to him, that's towards me. You got the balls to sleep with my wife, just be prepared to lose those jokers. To lose those jokers. You feel me? And that's what you're gonna tell me. Go ahead and tell Pookie and Ray Ray and Boo Boo and whoever else, yo, that dude don't play around. They ain't gonna be doing it no more. I'd be like, yo, Boo Boo, go ahead, walk around there. No But yes, family.
As a and this is as a king, right? As a king.
As
If
a
you were
king,
a
yes.
king.
As a
As a king.
king.
Okay. All right. We're gonna
Yo,
let you have
but
that one.
he ain't gonna be castrated. He gonna be castrated and then stoned. As a king, you gonna be castrated and stoned. He gonna be castrated and then stoned right
And
afterwards.
stoned to death.
Yes, to death.
So you gonna humiliate him like he
Yes,
tried to
man.
humiliate you.
Yes. You're gonna be
All
castrated
right,
and
well.
stoned to death, brother.
All right. Well. All right, brother. You got it. I'm done.
Family, there's nothing but real talk here, family. There's real talk, real event. Real event, current. We speak on it all, family. This just me and Holy, you know what I'm saying, doing what we do. Help our numbers. You see the video, like, subscribe. You know the vibes, family. You know the vibe. This is Brother Leo, Brother Conscious, Brothers in America. It's the host that does the most and the co-host that indulge in my buffoonery. Close it out, Holy. Close it out, brother.
Holy water and green tea.
Yes,
We as a king, I would be, like he said, benevolent. All right, I'm done.
and me as a king, I'm gonna be benevolent, brother. You got the balls to sleep with my wife. You gonna have that balls gotta be rectified. You gotta be rectified with that same type of balls that you had to sleep with my wife, right? Peace and blessings, family.
All right.